Well, Democrats are taking a new line of attack at the GOP, saying they are favoring big business and carving up the middle class with cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance's senior columnist, Rick Newman. Hey, Rick, thanks again for joining us. Rick, partly new in terms of the angle, but will this new tactic attacking MAGAnomics work?
Probably depends on inflation, something President Biden can't control. So just so people know what Biden is talking about here, MAGAnomics obviously refers to Donald Trump, the Make America Great Again president, MAGA. But what Biden is actually referring to when he says the MAGAnomics plan is a budget plan for 2024 put out by a group in the House, group of Republicans called the Republican Study Group. So for anybody who really wants to know what Biden's talking about, you can find that on the internet, Republican Study Group budget for 2024. It's only 167 pages long, and I guess some group of poor staffers at the White House had to go through that thing and make all the comparisons to what Biden wants to do, which is where Biden gets those claims. But Biden, there's one thing that's not new about what he's saying now is he's been going around the country saying, look, here's what Bidenomics is, touting his plan, the green energy incentives. There's been a kind of a manufacturing revival underway, other things Biden has done. And he honestly is just not getting a lot of credit for voters from it. His approval rating has really not budged from the low 40% range, which is where it's been for most of the last year and a half. That's probably because of inflation. His approval rating went down in direct correlation to inflation going up in 2021 and 22. So inflation has come down, but Biden's approval rating has not gone up. And in many polls, voters say they trust Republicans more than Democrats on the economy, even though Biden's claims about the economy are generally true. We've had the most job creation since Biden took office under any president. I don't think he necessarily deserves credit for that. That's largely because of the recovery from the COVID downturn. But other things have been pretty good under Biden. The one thing that hasn't is inflation. And I think what Biden is hoping is that inflation really comes down and gets under control by this time next year when we're in the home stretch of the 2024 election. And the shock effect that many Americans feel from inflation fades, because that seems to be the thing that's holding back his approval rating for the time being. But he's going to keep trying. And the latest twist is let's compare Bidenomics to MAGAnomics.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was interesting to see in the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report today, inflation expectations coming down a little bit. So maybe that's some good news for the president. On the other side of the ledger, in terms of bad news potentially for the president, we should talk about Hunter Biden, of course, President Biden's son, being indicted on Thursday on gun charges. This story has been ongoing for quite a while now. How do we sort of process or read this latest twist, Rick?
It's actually just one gun charge, and he may end up charged for tax evasion in two counts of that. And these were all things that were supposed to be part of a plea deal that fell apart over the summer, which seemed like a big surprise to everybody. So the House is mounting these hearings, trying to, looking into what did Hunter Biden do. And most importantly, they're trying to link President Joe Biden to anything nefarious his son Hunter might have done. The grand total of things that we know, transgressions, let's say, that Hunter Biden is guilty of are twice he failed to pay taxes on a certain amount of foreign income. He has acknowledged that in the plea deal. And then he checked a box on a form when he bought a firearm saying he was not using illegal medication at the time. The gun charge here is not, he didn't shoot somebody. He didn't shoot up a classroom. He just checked a box that basically meant he lied on a government form. So if that is the whole thing that comes out about Hunter Biden during the next year, this could, potentially be a mild positive for Joe Biden, because it means he will undergo the scrutiny. Can anybody find anything he did wrong? And if the answer is no, maybe by this time next year, voters feel like Biden is really the one being persecuted and his son, not President Trump, who claims persecution as he fights 91 criminal charges in 4 separate cases. The risk for Biden, I guess, is whether these investigations turn up something that actually makes him look worse than he does right now. And I think Republicans clearly are hoping for this. That did happen when they did the so-called Benghazi investigation of Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State. That did turn up a few things that Republicans were able to use against her when she ran for president in 2016. So they're hoping for a replay of that with Biden. I'm not sure they're going to find much, though.
We'll see. I don't know. How many boxes did Trump neglect to check? Rick. All right, Rick, thank you so much.
We can leave it there for now.